Hello there, everybody. DarkPhoenix Gaming here, and welcome to my live stream of Stellaris with the Ancient Relics story pack. Now, before we get started, just wanted to say a quick thank you to DB Broly, who's went and followed my channel in between now and the last time I was streaming, so big thank you for that. And just in case anyone's wondering about this, I was originally scheduled to stream Amnesia: The Dark Descent right now, but I changed it at the last minute just because I'd played and recorded a little bit of Amnesia's standard YouTube video last night, and to be honest, I was just so utterly terrified of it, I could not face the prospect of streaming the game for a couple hours, so I decided to go with something that would not completely and utterly terrify me in every conceivable way. Seemed like the reasonable approach to take. So, let's hit new game and get started with things. As you can see, we have 3 custom empires here, but only 2 of them are going to be in the game. The Terran Republic is my offshoot empire, and the High Kingdom of Terra is the one I'm going to be playing as. But I'm going to make a little change to them. I'm taking their name list off of Space Knight, which just seems a little bit over the top. I don't mind the AIs using it, but having it as the names of my characters just seems kind of dumb. We'll stick it onto a Roman name list. I will keep our leader's name of Edward Autumnstar, though, just because I think that's kind of cool. But that's the only thing I'm going to change. But I will take this opportunity to give a brief little explanation as to the kind of backstory I have in mind for this empire. Because this is a human empire and it's based on Earth. Even though it's called Terra, it is actually Earth that we're set on. Here, I'll even prove it. Homeworld is in the Sol system. Basically what happened is, it's kind of an alternate history where after the Middle Ages, the feudal era never really ended. The entire planet stayed based around feudalism. And when Europeans finally colonized the Americas, they just set up a bunch of counties and duchies and things over there, rather than it being colonies in the sense here. They were just partitioning it the way they were used to, kind of thing. But eventually, dwindling resources and the existence of nuclear weapons, because yes, even in a world where feudalism is still around in the 21st century, nuclear weapons still became a thing. But the combination of the existence of nuclear weapons and feudalism still being around may have led to a handful of nuclear wars. And after a few of them, Earth is... It may be on the edge of being totally uninhabitable. Sheepish look here. Yes, that may be the case. I'm not totally sure, but I think it's fairly good. Anyways, after all the nuclear exchanges, there weren't exactly a lot of independent powers left with any kind of strength. So one of them, and I'm deliberately leaving a lot of the details vague so you guys can have it up to your imaginations as to who was actually the winner. But that one power that won basically became the nominal feudal overlord of the entire planet. And that's where the Terran Republic enters our story. See, the Terran Republic is made up of basically serfs, or peasants if you were, who were not happy with the way things had gone down, and decided they wanted off of Earth because life there kind of sucked. So they stole a bunch of starships. This was after hyperdrives had been developed, by the way. They stole a bunch of starships and just ran for it. They eventually found their way to another planet and made their home on that planet, forming the Terran Republic, which is basically a UK or United States style indirect democracy. Very egalitarian, very militarist, and very into technology. The traits I have for my two species of humans are rapid breeders, deviants, nomadic, wasteful, and strong. Well, one species spread across two empires, really. We have survivor on the High Kingdom of Terra because they live on a tomb world thanks to nuking it. But these two are going to be my only custom empires that will show up. Everyone else is going to be randomly generated. Now, the next thing I want to mention, I do have a decent number of mods in this playthrough. Though, basically all of them are either graphical or quality of life things. There are a handful that don't fall into that list. Number one being the More Events mod, which anyone who doesn't know what that is, based on the name, please go home, you're not wanted here. I kid. But it literally just adds a lot more events. Anyways, I will leave a list of the mods down in the description for those of you watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this live over on Twitch, you can type the command !mods to get a link to a version of the mod list on Google Drive. Let's hope that works out. Okay, unlike the last time I tried to do something with Google Drive. But yes. Let me know how that works, will you? In any case, I think it's time we get started. Now, because Stellaris games have a tendency to be rather long, and in a lot of cases, the especially big ones I tend not to finish, just because of how much time I have to spend on them, I've decided to kick the galaxy size down from a massive 1,000 stars to 600. And we'll have it on 11 AI empires, but just because I've had a few bad experiences with them, and the smaller galaxy means I'm more likely to have to deal with the bastards, I am going to put the advanced AI starts off, so we won't have any advanced AIs showing up in our galaxy. Fallen empires will be on 2, as will marauders. Tech and habitable worlds and crisis strength and everything is all on 1 times. The mid-game will start in 2350. But I'm going to reduce the end-game start year down to 2500. Just so that we have a chance to hit the end-game start year before I decide that everything's gotten too snowbally and boring and I want to end things. Because that's what happened in my last game. I just snowballed to the point where I owned literally half the galaxy and no one was going to be any challenge, so I didn't play long enough to see the endgame crisis. difficulty, I've set to Captain. My last playthrough that I did back in Megacore was on Ensign, but the challenge sort of vanished after the first few wars, so I'm hoping a little buff to the difficulty from Ensign up to Captain will make that less likely to happen. Scaling difficulty will be off, of course. AI aggressiveness is on highs. This is another thing that happened in that last game. I literally never had a single AI declare war on me. All of them. Literally all of them just sat there until I attacked them. I hope having the aggressiveness a little higher will force me to respond to people declaring war, rather than simply be the aggressor all the time. Empire placement is random. Advanced neighbors are off, but since I have no advanced neighbors, that doesn't matter. I bumped hyperlane density down to 0.75, just to see if that makes much of a difference. Abandoned gateways are at 3 times, wormhole pairs are 2 times. I just find the gateway and wormhole system to be really neat, and I think having some more of them makes for some interesting narrative possibilities. Guaranteed habitable worlds I'm leaving on default, and Caravaneers can stay on. Iron Man mode will remain off, just in case something happens that I have to redo a stream, or redo part of one. I want to have the option. Plus, I just don't give a crap about achievements, so there is very little point in having Iron Man on. So, with all of that said, let's hit play and finally get started with Stellaris Ancient Relics. Oh, I am so looking forward to this. I'm not going to read this text blurb here because we kind of have our own narrative backstory that doesn't really fit with this one. The first thing to do, of course, is set up our research. I'm going to get nanomechanics for engineering research for researchers up 20%. Administrative AI for 5% more research speed across the board. And finally, we want planetary unification or pop growth speed. Let's see. The additional edicts is going to be a long-term thing. We won't use it for a good while, but I don't really want our population growing excessively fast until we have some additional colonies. Because things like food are going to be a bit of a problem, since food production here on a tomb world, I remember being a little bit problematic. So I will just go for planetary unification, even if it's not strictly speaking necessary. Now, we start over here on basically this edge of the mid-rim bit. Outer rim doesn't seem to have many actual systems in it, though, I'm noticing. We'll queue up a little bit of a survey with our science ship. Construction ship. Can get started with the mining station at Mercury. Don't need to build anything on Terra just yet. But what I do need to do is redo our ship designs, because I am not a fan of the starting designs. turn off the bloody auto-generate first of all. And we are going to go with pew-pews and missiles as my primary ship type. And I'll be focusing my efforts on deflector shields rather than armor, just because I don't need to go back into dry dock in order to repair my shields. I do with armor, so having more shields would seem to make more sense to me. As for my ship names, I'm going to actually name them after cities, so if you have a particular city you'd like a ship class named after, then let me know. Same if you would like a certain ship or planet or station or scientist named after you, just let me know. Anyways, this first one is going to be the London class Corvette. We'll get rid of that crap. And second, we'll get some picket ships up and going. I don't know if we'll be encountering any people using missiles this early on, but I like to prepare. This is the Nagasaki class. I think I'm spelling that right. If not, then I'll just have to rename it. It's the fleet manager. Swap those out for the London class. Bring them up to 15 and add in 5 Nagasaki class. Start upgrading the ships. And I'm going to put us up on the fastest speed possible for the time being, because in these early stages there won't be a whole lot happening. Crown Princess Decima Autumnstar is the new heir to our empire. And we're going to make a few changes by adding a original number onto our monarch, I think. And everyone, meet High King Edward Autumnstar the Ninth, and his heir, who will be Decima Autumnstar the Fourth. I really wish there was an option in the character creation for original numbers when you're making your empire, so that you can set which number your leader should have. It would just be kind of nice, but that's not a thing, and I have to basically put up with it.
Construction complete.
Okay.
Ships refitted.
We finished with all that business. Can't afford to do any more reinforcement. Let's see. We have found the Sirius system.
Construction complete.
Mining station in orbit of Mercury is donezo. So now, let's start getting some research stations up over these places. And apparently there are 2 colonizable worlds over here in the Sirius system. One's a Savannah world, but one is a size 18 continental, which I think we'll be establishing a colony there basically as soon as we're able, if it has anything of worth on it. Because I would so like to have somewhere other than a tomb world for our people to live on, and I'm sure most of the population agrees.
Construction complete.
They would also probably like to figure out how to terraform their world into no longer being a tomb world, but I think that's kind of out of the realm of technological feasibility for the time being. So, terraforming is not going to be a thing for a very long time.
Anomaly found.
Drop our speed down. We found an anomaly, and I am basically going to try to be reading all of the events and text pop-ups, at least for the early game. Initial sensory readings from Sirius 3 suggest it could support alien life. That's a challenging anomaly, and it's going to have our scientists tied up for nearly a whole year, so we will hold off on that for the time being, I think. Discovery of alien life. The HMS Mucianus has made a startling find on Sirius 3. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate on Terra. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believed we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on Sirius 3 are sapient, it is likely only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. We may not be alone out here. And we've just gained 117 society research, and can I just say, to borrow a little line from Hadrian, that thing it says on there, have silenced those who thought we were alone in the universe, that wouldn't happen. It's like the flat earthers, you present them with irrefutable evidence they're wrong, they just get louder. That's just how it is. That would not have happened. It's kind of cool from a narrative perspective, but it's also unrealistic. Contact report. Planetary Anomalia. The High Kingdom of Terra is abuzz with news of the alien life that was found. While hardly intelligent by human standards, the fascinating beings defy easy classification and hint at the immense complexities and possibilities of the universe. Interesting. Yes, it's interesting rather than worrying because, and I should probably remind people of this, we are not xenophobic. We are fanatic, authoritarian, and militarist. So,
Construction complete.
we really want to keep our own people in line and are willing to do it through force and the threat of force if necessary. But we don't hate aliens. If they're useful, then we will exploit them the same as we would humans. That's just how it is. Okay, you do that and then move over to the Sirius system. I need to get an outpost there so we can do some colonizing, bro.
Recon pass completed.
Survey of Sirius is done. And now, since I have the resources, by quite a bit in fact, we'll start to build a science ship in order to do some exploration in the opposite direction.
Construction complete. Taking evasive action.
The Grey Disciples. Oh. Centuries ago, a group of radical priests and their devoted followers on Terra broke away from the established religions to form their own church. These extremists called themselves the Grey Disciples, and have been responsible for many atrocities and acts of terror over the years. Though they have kept a low profile in modern times, we recently learned that many of their agents have infiltrated our military. These renegades have been secretly diverting resources to the construction of a small fleet of starships at a hidden facility on Terra. When their treachery was revealed, the cultists blasted into orbit on their ships and fled to Mars. They must be stopped. Begins the Grey Disciples event chain.
New sitrep.
And now, we have to hire an admiral and send in our fleet. I'll get the weapons range guy. That unfortunately means we won't have the energy, we'll need to hire a scientist.
Fleet action underway.
And we only just barely outnumber these guys. Let's turn off the UI and watch the battle nice and cinematic-like. Cultist ship disabled. Our valiant space forces have skillfully disabled a ship in the cultist armada. It is mostly intact and we are picking up faint life signs from inside its hull. As we have eliminated all threats in the immediate vicinity, we should conduct a boarding operation to secure any survivors. They may be able to tell us more about the ultimate motives of the Grey Disciples. Prepare the breaching charges.
New sitrep.
Okay, we're probably going to lose the HMS Fabius. That's pretty much a given. This is how much damage it's taken. Or not. We didn't lose anything. And now, it's time to get our forces onto there, so that we can go off and figure out what these bloody cultists are up to. My construction ship is off to build an outpost in Sirius. The science ship has moved on to Alpha Centauri.
Construction complete.
We have another science ship. I'm going to need some more energy and rapidly to manage this. So, sell 100 minerals. God, I love the market. It's so much easier to deal with sudden resource shortages or not having quite enough. Now that I have the market, I just love it. We'll hire Spuria Floridius as our new scientist. And queue up some exploration over here. That'll be enough for now. Yeah. And we, of course, are busy in the home system boarding this cultist ship.
Special project complete.
Boarding action. Though the survivors offered stiff resistance, our boarding party was able to secure several prisoners from the disabled cultist starship. From them, we have learned that this conspiracy goes far deeper than we initially suspected. The agents of the Grey Disciples include several flag officers and high-ranking officials within our government. Mass arrests are being made on Terra, and all assets belonging to this cult have been seized. However, several of the starships they built in secret remain unaccounted for, and the upper echelons of the cult's leadership have vanished. They picked up faint ion trails leading to several outlying systems. We must pursue these terrorists. Now, where did they go? Not that far off, and apparently one of the locations is in Alpha Centauri. So I guess we have to finish surveying it to find out what they're up to. Yes, one of the locations it could potentially be is Alpha Centauri itself. I don't know how that would be. We had a science ship present in the system during the process of securing those cultist assets, so surely we would have noticed if they'd shown up here. Or maybe not. Now, I'm gonna do what I typically do with this sort of empire, and go with expansion. We must expand our civilization to new systems and planets or risk eventual extinction. Gives us colony development speed plus 25%. Yeah, let's go for it.